Good day, and welcome to Far Reaches Extra, or FRX as we call it. FRX is a chance for the gang to reach a little deeper with a one-on-one interview and discover people and topics that make this world worth living in. We hope you enjoy this random journey, and feel free to send in your suggestions or even call us out to be on the next episode of Far Reaches Extra. Hey, hi your mom and then welcome to the Far Reaches Extra. That's right, it's extra good, it's extra long, it's extra bad, it's extra fun. We are here live with Shandie and Amy, the Mongolian Central Oregon Cowgirl Extremes. No, wait, the Central Oregon Cowgirls going to Mongolia? No, wait.
It's Mongolia.
Mongol. Anyway, so we have two of our most watched guests coming back for a follow-up. So we did an introduction to these ladies almost a year ago now, I think. They are from Central Oregon. They're good Oregon Cowgirls, and they are going to go do the Mongol race in Mongolia coming up August of next year. So just less than a year from now. And so we promised when we first did that one, we got a lot of good interaction, that we would have updates. So I finally herded these two into a corner and talked them into spending a little time with us this evening to give a little update on what's going through their mind, what they've been doing. Have they been training? Is there nutrition work? Are they looking for sponsors? Sort of just getting an update because everybody wants to know how this is coming along. And maybe some folks out there haven't seen this episode yet or don't have any idea what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about the Mongol Derby. I think the official slogan is the longest and toughest horse race in the world. So, I mean, why wouldn't you? Yeah. So, Aim, Shan, welcome back.
Thank you. Hey, glad to be back.
Oh, so cool. So cool. Y'all's was one of the most watched episodes we had. A great commentary, and we've suckered Amy into being guest host a couple times even since then. So it's been a great start to a lot of good things, and really just want to give folks an update and really catch everybody back up and get a fresh start and see where we're at. So do you mind kind of giving just a quick little overview about each of you real quick, and then what the hell you got going on?
Crazy horse stuff.
See.
Nope, we're just a year out. So do you want to go back to basics about who we are?
Yeah, please. Let's circle back. I can't believe I said that. Let's review and catch everybody up. There might be some new people. Hopefully there's new people that are seeing this for the first time. So give a little bit about yourselves and kind of what this deal is a little bit. And then most importantly, what drew you to going through all this and planning something like 2 years out to go across the world and do something that very few people have ever heard of, and even way fewer have ever done successfully. So
get after it. Okay. Well, I'm Shandie Johnson. I learned about the Mongol Derby from Amy. But what I do is I'm a mom of two kids. I'm actually a PO. I am a parole probation officer in Wasco County. I supervise about 10, mostly men, but I supervise about 50 medium and high risk offenders. And then we also, my family, we have a ranch where we have lots of farm stuff, and then we also have cattle. Amy and I have been friends for a while, and she was like, "Oh, let's do this. Let's do a horse vacation." And after a few cocktails, we ended up signing up for the Mongol Derby, which is a 625-mile horse race across the Mongolian steppe. So there we are. Here we are.
There's Hell's Canyon trips. There's a lot of different ways to go on a horse vacation. But right. Might as well just get it out of the way early. Yeah, and I would think too that being a mom's probably really good training for being a PO. Correct? Is there a lot of back and forth there?
I don't know. Yep, she's your mom. Pretty much. I'm in my mom voice quite a bit, actually.
Couldn't resist. I had to get it out. Yeah.
And then, yes, Amy McNamee. I'm a loan officer for a little bank in
North Central Oregon. Keep farmers going. And yeah, I also have some cows and grew up ranching, and that's been my background my entire life, and kind of a love of horses and a need to go vacation, but maybe not vacation like normal people do. Is kind of what led us to this.
Mm-hmm. Well done. Yeah, mission accomplished. Yes. Did you know anybody that had been in it, or how did you stumble across this? I'm really curious how it all. Did you like Google like ways to almost die yet pay for it? What was going through the mind?
Yes. How do I spend $14,000 to go kill myself somewhere remote?
Yes, exactly.
That was the Google. Yeah. No, I got interested in 2019. The gentleman that won it was a gentleman that's a friend of ours from Boise. And it was just really interesting to me what he was doing. And I mean, he was 70 years old, so why can't two 40-somethings do the same thing?
40-something, 50-something.
No, not quite.
Will be.
Yeah.
I've never seen a woman like reach up to be older, like ever. I was like, I was thinking you add both you together, you get 40-something. That was where my mind was at. So.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna buy that.
There you go. Both you added up 50. Perfect. Yes.
Yep. So yeah.
So it just sounded when Amy told me about it, about the horse race. I mean, initially when you hear 625 miles in Mongolia on their horses. Yeah. The first reaction is, hell no. There's no way I'm going to do this.
That was the first reaction.
No, it was much worse probably. Yeah. But I think, I think for me, once you start really researching it and looking into it and seeing what it's really all about, it's amazing. I mean, to be able to see the country, live in that culture for a short period of time, even though it's a few days, it sounds like, they're very open. They're very hospitable to everybody. It's just going to be an amazing adventure. And they only accept 40 people. Anyone in the entire world can apply. And then you go through it's quite a process to get accepted. But they say that typically less than half actually cross the finish line. So you take 40 that are actually at the beginning, and less than 20 or less are the ones that typically are able to finish.
So towards the end, it's a lot easier to get a good horse.
One would hope.
You would hope.
Yeah. I think if you're progressively ahead, they want to see you succeed on their horses. That's part of their success. That's part of their success, is to have a horse win. So I think that, and I think, I mean, the immersion in the culture and being friendly and gregarious, which none of us have a problem. That gets you somewhere, the herders.
Is there a time limit on the race? Or is it a certain amount of days, or is it when everybody finishes?
It's 10 days. I think they start picking you up after.
Yeah, but typically it looks like pretty much everybody's done anywhere like between days 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bob finished.
Yeah,
Sure,
I think so. I think like 7 days is the typical what people finish. They only let you ride certain hours of the day. So you can only ride during daylight. At night, you have to stop and find shelter just because it's too dangerous to ride at night. I think they typically, so I'm thinking probably if you can do around 100 miles a day, you'll be kind of right there in the hunt.
Yep. And that may not always mean stopping at a station where you're switching horses. That may mean riding on and knocking on the door of the next yurt. But part of that strategy, you talk to the herders at the previous station and get a feel for what the environment's like between the two stations. It might be that it might not be the best place for a woman by herself to camp. So part of what the strategy has to be, along with the navigation piece. Basically, they give you a GPS and say, here's where you trade out horses next, go. There's no set route. It's not like it's a,
Yeah, let's back that up just a little bit. So there's how many stations in total?
25.
25 stations. Okay. So yeah, everybody starts. There's a big cavy of horses. You kind of sift one out. And like you said, you got a GPS. And here's your next station. And everybody just takes off boiling across country, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to vet into the next station. So you can't just ride the tar out of your horse.
Yeah.
You have to have its heart rate below a certain amount, not be lame, and not have crippled the horse on the way in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get a time penalty at the end.
You get a time penalty before. Yeah, before you can leave that station.
You have to wait for so long before you can take off again, right? Yeah.
Right.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. That's kind of the whole point of the whole thing too, is horsemanship.
It's the health of the. Yeah. And I think the other piece is that we're obviously going together, but it sounds like the more people you can connect with, so you have a bigger group of people riding. So let's say we're at a horse station and I get a horse that's maybe not as fast as the other ones, but if you're with a bigger group, that horse like kind of keeps going, so
certainly,
and there's also safety in numbers. So it sounds like, and that's the other piece of it, is that we're going to be able to meet people from other parts of the world, other parts of, I think there's someone from Florida.
There's a couple gals from Florida. There's a gal from Texas. Yeah, and that's sort of the fun piece of it. Yeah. You can't tell me that after 10 days of that you're not going to make some friendships that kind of last forever. Right. Our own special kind of crazy.
Precisely. We're both crazy enough to show up here to begin with, and we rode it together. Those are the bonds that don't break for sure. It's because there's so much in common there. Like that's deep-seated, like soul gathering kind of stuff, not just like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's like next level sort of draw that you really can't describe. So
who knows what kind of world travel that'll lead to.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go meet people or go see our new friends, right?
Absolutely.
You just never know.
Yes, we could be at the Gaucho Derby in Florida the next time.
We could be at the Gaucho Derby. We could be at there's lots of races that we could take a look at.
I'm thinking
this could be the beginning of a total chaotic world tour for the rest of your lives, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it could be.
I sure hope so. Really, if anybody's pulling for it, it is me. Yes.
Oh, okay. You can come with us.
Yeah, yes, I think I would be a good interpreter / boot boy. Whatever else you need, probably. Yeah, I'd just be fun travel. Let's put it that way. Culture and shit. Yeah. So.
There we go. Often the name of culture.
A passport will travel. Yes. So yeah, that's probably the interesting part too. To review back to the race is talk about what your thoughts are when you just roll up there day one and there's probably 50 or 60 horses to choose from. Is there a strategy? What are you thinking about how to get that all sort of started and off in a good direction on the right foot?
We spend a couple of days riding horses, riding the horses there. There's 3 days of pre-race when we get there. So that'll kind of give us a feel for what to look for in those horses. Because I would imagine, it's not going to be go pick the big thoroughbred looking racehorse, because that's not going to happen. Right. Because that'll be a little bit desperate for us. How does it move? How's it built? Does it look like it's been ridden?
Yeah, I think that what I'm hearing, like when you kind of look into it, it sounds like it's the relationship that you build with the herdsman, and being able to, build that relationship, gain their trust that you are a horseman that's going to take care of their horse, that's going to show their horse to the best of their ability, and trust that they're going to give you the right kind of horse. The other piece of it is that the Eric and his cohorts, they spend a lot of time really vetting these horses, really looking at what are the best horses that they're going to put on that line for the racers. So I don't really necessarily think there's going to be any, dinks. I think they're all going to be good horses. I think it's just going to be dependent on how we as individuals showcase those horses.
In my mind, there's going to be a little bit of proving yourself, especially in those first 2 days of training to the people that, or maybe the first couple of days of riding. Even
exactly.
You know, why should we give you our best horse as opposed to this guy down the road that looks like he's an endurance racer from way back. Kind of thing. And that's what we've kind of come to the conclusion that endurance racing is not our cup. I mean, that sounds like a weird thing to say, but
I am not.
I think,
that's like a whole nother world which is going to be something that, my thing is like, we can spend all day in a saddle. Right. We can ride probably some of the country around here, and not have any issues. Right. But we're on our horses that we know. We're in our saddle that we know. We've actually gotten some, what is that saddle? It's like an endurance saddle. It's like an Australian stock saddle.
Those Australian saddles, Eric says, are actually probably closer to what they ride than the endurance saddles you see, because there's some swells on them and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And we've ridden in those. Yeah. Oh my God. It is not a pretty scene. Those are hard. That takes talent that I have not quite acquired yet. It is not easy. I mean, hats off to those endurance people and those Western or like English hunter jumper. Holy cow!
That's a whole different language that we don't speak.
Okay, I'm having if you can't hear in the background.
Somebody at the door.
We're in my barn, and they're like, Amy's getting after him. Go, Amy.
So good to see her come out of her shell.
So the whole like training for us right now is just, for me in particular, is just being able to get in that saddle and stay in that saddle, because their whole philosophy and culture with these horses is that they want them spirited, and to, like if they're flighty or, if they rear or buck, they don't necessarily
reprimand them.
Yeah, they don't want to take that out of them.
Sure.
And I haven't quite mastered how to stay in the middle in those saddles when a horse is even loping, let alone rearing and bucking.
Noted.
I'm kind of thinking throw like that thing. Now that I think about it.
Hey, improvise and overcome. Yeah, that's.
On the Mongol Derby. I'm thinking buck and roll.
Oh, absolutely, buck and roll. Yeah, we're gonna have to really take buck and roll.
Buck and roll's a screwdriver and never sees.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm just picturing your luggage getting scanned at the airport. Yes.
What is this? Just don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
Best just to moving along, mister. Just moving along. Yeah. It's interesting too. You've mentioned a little bit that like the local people are really involved and they take pride in bringing their horses to this, and it's extremely vetted. I think that really ties the riders and you guys with the country and the people there, because they're there showing off their best horses, the ones they're proud of, the ones they raised, the ones that are from there. So I think that's really extra cool to get to have that potential connection to with those people and their horses. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see like the fundamental similarities between the two cultures.
Oh,
The cowboy culture
yeah.
is the cowboy culture you would have
Yes.
to see.
Yeah,
But, and so Mongolia has been closed down for the last year, obviously, but Eric is finally there now, putting horses together for both the July and the August group for next year. So that's quite an undertaking.
Yeah.
I've joked. I asked him the other day, is it really possible to be homesick for someplace you've never been? Because it looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it does.
yeah, like it's, yeah, I'm so excited to go.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
But, and I might come back. Who knows?
Well, I mean, if the U.S. gets you out of the country, they might take advantage of that and just say, that's enough. Yeah. And so it might be your idea too. I don't know.
Don't let the door hit you.
Yeah. We're the good Lord. Yeah. But that's such a great statement. Is it possibly homesick for a place you've never been? Yeah, it just draws to you. So, and you're answering, which is the sweetest part about this whole thing is you heard that summons, that call, and you're like, yeah, it's crazy enough to work. Let's go do it.
Yes, yep, absolutely. Yep, for sure. And like we talked about in the last one, it is so good to have each other.
Oh, I bet.
Be able
Absolutely. To go with, to help train, to help motivate, because there's going to be days you're like, I really want to go riding. And one of you is going to be like, get your ass up. Let's go.
Yeah, oh, we're not going to fall off into some godforsaken hole for the day.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We always make the best choices together.
Some might argue that.
Let's go with that.
That's good, though. I think that's a good motto to have in your head when you're doing these things. So, yes, better together. There you go. That's the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost said it with a straight face. So that's impressive. Yes. Oh. So to touch on one of the things I wanted to talk about as well is y'all have a GoFundMe because, as you alluded to, it's not cheap to go do this, right?
Yep. The entry fees are $14,500. Then travel insurance, stirrups and fenders, gear,
Plane
ticket. Those things are separate from the entry fee. So we've been
Gifts.
Yes, goodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a catered deal. There's food at camp,
Yeah.
Mongolian food at camp, but you pack in your pack what you're going to survive on for those 7 to 10 days. So we've just been chunking away at our entry fees and putting a little money in the bank to work on our supplies. Like Shandie was talking before we started the podcast, it would be interesting to find local clothing companies, local sporting good companies, like local Pacific Northwest that we're interested. Sounds like there is. It'll be interesting to get more into these Zoom meetings, I think, because there's good back and forth there about there are people who are running this race for the third time. So there's good input on the kind of gear to take.
And I think, we start those. So the group, they do these, I think they're monthly Zoom meetings to kind of talk about how we should be prepping, what we should be doing, where we should be at in our training and that kind of stuff. But I agree with Amy. I think it will be nice to be able to kind of pick other people's brains as to how they're doing sponsorships. I mean, I've never dealt with sponsorships. I've never gone out and tried to get support or anything like that for type of adventure. It's a little bit over my head. And so it's a little bit different than our annual field day we do for the Livestock Association. Yeah. It's all related sponsors. These are sponsorships that are kind of outside the realm of where we function right now. It's a little, even that part is to be stepping outside our comfort zone a little bit. Yeah.
Which is good. And, and maybe there's going to be some local, I'm thinking like jerky, I'm thinking kind of trail food, I'm thinking stuff like that too. That would be great to be able to go in your cool gear that might come as well. So my point being, there's a lot of opportunities, I think, for both people in the Northwest or maybe even, Montana, Nevada, et cetera, to maybe if they got something unique to help bring that to the table. We'll have y'all's emails down below as well, and the GoFundMe. So if you want to get a hold of Amy or Shandie with just even questions, maybe you're like, how did you even start this? Is this something crazy I should do next time? Would this be something y'all would want to wear or use? I think just to get those conversations going, whether it comes to anything, would be super cool, just to get that interaction. So we'll make sure we try to get those. Well, we will get those down below, but to sort of help foster some of those connections, or maybe you know somebody who makes really cool. Well, you mentioned buck and rolls, etc. You know, or a good pack or something like that to bring with. So I think there's a lot of opportunity and just you know, bridging those gaps, if you will, and sort of helping bring everything together. Then that'll be fun to watch over the next 11 months now, or pretty much, yeah.
11 months. We've got the countdown. Yep. But absolutely, yeah. And at the end of the day, once this is done, I mean, we would love to talk to anybody that's interested in doing it.
Yes.
I just think that would be neater than heck to be able to sponsor or foster somebody that's coming along for the next set, especially if it were some like the reachers.
Oh yeah.
Demographic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe a little and
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely want to help bring the next ones up and in and experience this type of situation.
Because it's not something that somebody from Eastern Oregon, I mean, I've had good feedback from some people even around Long Creek. It's like, wow, that looks like fun. Why wouldn't we should do that? And that's not, I mean, without us doing it and kind of promoting it, but, I mean, that has to broaden the spectrum of the folks that are interested.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, especially in, but it seems like a lot of people that are in our area or that are in our lifestyle, like the ranching, farming, they're so driven, like all we can do and all we will do is just ride and do our own ranching stuff and what we need to do to get to the next day. So I think seeing that two women from nowhere are going to go and do this is like, oh my God, maybe we can. And maybe it doesn't even have to be, you know, going to Mongolia and riding their horses for 625 miles. It could be anything. I mean, it's just letting people know that you're never too old, you're never too young, you're never too in one lane that you can't move out and try something different. And you know what? What's the worst that's going to happen? I mean, so you fall off.
You might have to come home with a broken leg.
Yeah, you get back up, dust the dirt off, and
buddy safe and there you go.
I tell you, it's my favorite professor in college. One of his favorite sayings was, "In the end, all we are is an embodiment of our experiences." And that's exactly what you're talking about. Like, I got this scar here, I got hurt there, I kicked ass there, and not ever like, well, I could never go do that because I live here. No, screw that. Go do it. You know, find a way. Find a way, damn it.
Exactly.
And I've had, I mean, we've both had some weird looks from our families. or people we happen to live with at the time.
You know, we're very fortunate, though. I think, you know, like, we have a lot of support.
We do.
I mean,
we have great support.
People are giving us so much shit about how, like, ridiculous this is and how, like, are you serious? This is like, why are you doing this?
Oh, that's awesome.
But they're very supportive.
100%.
They're like, good for you. We don't get it, but have a good time. Take lots of pictures. And like I said, I do think that it has, you know, my goal with it is to encourage people to try something different.
Yes.
You don't have to be stuck. There's always a way, right?
Yes.
There's always a way to move forward and move in different directions, even though it may not be something that you intentionally wanted to do. Well, I did not want to do this. And now I can't wait.
Yes. And I think it's good to have an extraordinary goal out there. Something that takes your day-to-day life and gives you something that's amazing to look forward to. And the other thing is we get to look forward. I mean, this is something we get to talk about for the rest of our lives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And our families.
Yes.
And my kids.
Yes. And your daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And in my mind,
that spark, that's planting that seed in their mind of like, well, why not? You know, like, who says this is what I have to do or what I shouldn't do or what I can do? Like, screw that.
Well, and we farming, ranching families where work is paramount, and it's almost a cardinal sin to not be working. So,
Yes,
so the thought
100%.
of it, this and
yeah.
we're busting our paradigm a little bit.
You're spending money not to go work. Wait a minute, you know, like.
Try to make.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is quite, you know, the paradoxical shift there for sure. Of like, say what? Yeah, totally, and that's great though. It couldn't be better because of that exact reason. You know, and part of it's going to really reinforce how lucky you are to have grown up where you have and what you have now. But it's also going to show you those other things across the world and the cool parallels, like you talked about. Like, I think a good horse person's a good horse person, no matter where they're at. You know, I remember watching one of the documentaries on this, and the man from, I think he was from Nigeria, was voted like best horseman. And that guy was just amazing. I just got goosebumps thinking about it because like he was such a tremendous horseman and he worked extra hard with those horses, and they really admired his skills. And like that kind of just said it all to me. Like everybody there was like, that guy is great. That's so cool.
That got me too. And that really is what shifted. I mean, I think that one episode that you're talking about, or that show, was when I was like, God, that is what I want. I want the experience and to be able to grow my horsemanship, learn from them, try to do my best and really showcase these horses. It's, of course, I mean, I'm super competitive. So yeah, I want to win, but I'm not to give up the experience and the horsemanship portion of it in order to just cross the finish line first.
Right. If you can't get the fundamental piece out of it, I'm doing this to better myself and to learn about people.
Yes.
That comes first.
Learn about people, but also, I think for both of us, to learn about their ways with their horses. I mean, I think we're both so passionate about our equine partners. I mean, we have to have our horses in order to be able to do our job with our cattle. So, you know, to me, the fact that how they go and catch their horses with their little sticks and it's just impressive. Yeah. I just be able to learn as much from them as I possibly can. Because everything that we learn from them is going to be able to come back here and just make us better with our own horses.
And I think that goes across any discipline. There's always something to be learned, but it's especially exciting there because it's more of they are a necessary partner.
Absolutely. They're fully ingrained. Absolutely.
Yeah. They're part of their commerce, and not unlike our horses are, as opposed to an eventer who, yes, they make their money that way, but it's not. It's like a good dog,
right?
They're part of your team.
Yeah.
And for centuries, that horse has been integral to the Mongolian life and how they move and what they do, and like that's where they're bred. Like I think all that history is really intriguing to me as well, and specifically the horse. The size, the endurance, the spirit of those Mongol horses is just amazing to me, and how they work with them is awesome. So yeah, I can't wait to see some of that feedback too, of just differences, similarities, and just the little things you're going to pick up on, I think too, from watching, you know, that you'll probably smoke cigarettes when you get back. I'm just guessing because like that's what you do over there. Like that's practice. I'm just saying. Yeah. So
that might be the day, truly.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and isn't that one of the gifts that they recommend bringing is cigarettes, like for your herders, and if you happen to stop at a yurt at night or things of that, like, is there some kind of suggestions too about like maybe trinkets from Oregon or in particular for what, any feedback on that?
You have, so I heard, this is what I'm like really, because I want to bring a piece of Oregon and us and our culture to them. So yeah, gifts are a huge thing. They always say bring cigarettes, which of course we will. But one thing that I think would be kind of cool and is lightweight, because we have to think about weight in our pack. But wild rags, because that's something we could. I use all the time. I mean, I do have a small wild rags, and you know, they're lightweight. They feel nice on the skin. They're beautiful. You can get so many different designs and colors, and I think, you know, I think it's something that they could appreciate, and they would be, you know, because it gets bitter cold there with the wind, and wild rags have saved my bacon so many times when you're out riding all day and it's bitter, wind is hitting you. So I want to take wild rags. So anybody out there that is a wild rag maker, we're
we will tout your brand, wear your hat.
Whatever you want.
That's awesome.
But I think wild rags are a good idea. My niece, she is an avid beater, and she braids. And so she's wanting, and I think this is, I don't know, I've heard that they like jewelry as well. So she's going to make bracelets and some earrings that we can take for the women, they're the ones that are cooking for us and putting us up in their yurts. So, you know, the herdsmen obviously are a big part of it because they're the ones that are bringing us the horses and kind of helping us with the horses. But there's also a whole list of the family members behind the scenes that maybe aren't getting the credit that they deserve, the ones who are cooking, who are allowing us in their yurts and in their homes and with their families. The kids, I think, are, you know, they do a lot of the gathering and care of the horses. So, you know, I want to be able to bring something that will be showing our gratitude to the entire family that's helping us along our journey.
That's awesome. You know, I was thinking like Pendleton minis, but I think that's probably for a different demographic. Yeah. So.
So that would be for us.
That would be for you.
Fireball might be a necessity. Fireball, aspirin, and our CBD salve. I'm hoping we can get our CBD salve on the plane. That's the biggest goal.
Tremendous. Yeah. Fireball. Fireball, wild rag, CBD. That sounds like a nice chant. Yes, that's. I think that salve's going to be a lifesaver, though.
Absolutely. We should send you some.
Yes, I could use it. That would be good.
Juniper platforms.
They're good.
Well, I love the wild rags idea. I think that really kind of encapsulates our culture, and it's something that they would certainly probably be really, really honored to have as well, and because it's so useful, but it's very personal, I think, too. So.
And can you go wrong with shiny silk?
Right, exactly. Well, I'm planning on taking at least one for myself because I know that it's going to get cold and
no matter how Patagonia, Colombia, whatever you get, you just can't go wrong with a wild rag.
Mandatory, absolutely mandatory. Yeah, you can have a Columbia jacket or a Filson or whatever, but you're going to have yourself at least one wild rag, hopefully more than that. Yeah.
Exactly.
There has to be at least a little bit of Eastern Oregon.
Oh, I think we'll be plenty. I don't think there'll be any questions about
where did those two come from.
Yeah, about our hill. I think when we pull our buckets out, might be the first.
Yes, that might be big old checkbox right
ropes.
there. Yeah, get down ropes and bucket rolls. Yeah, that'll be like, Which reminds me now, what about footwear? I've seen a lot of different styles of footwear in the videos I've watched. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm really, really tempted, and she might disagree with me. I don't know. Tennis shoes, I've seen a lot of. I'm really tempted to take my follow ladies.
Really? Cool. I think it's cool. Yeah.
So I've been trying I've been trying a bunch of different shoes like I said, I'm not an endurance rider, but you look at the endurance people and they obviously know something that I don't know. And they all wear like hiking boots
with
or
what they call them half straps, the gaiters.
With gaiters.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because if you have to walk anywhere, you want something that's comfortable. So I've been wearing, everybody makes fun of me because they are the most ugliest shoes you've ever seen in your whole life. What are they? They're blood. I don't know. They're from Australia. I can't even think of what they're called now.
They look like a tall Romeo.
Yeah, they kind of do look like a tall Romeo. But they are the most comfortable shoes I have ever worn in my life. I ride in them all the time. My dad has an absolute heart attack if he sees me in them because they're not boots.
But they don't lace, and they have a heel.
No, they don't lace. They have a small heel, but they're not like
they're not aggressive.
They're not boots.
No,
but they're super comfortable. And my thought is, if worst case scenario you have to walk, I want something that I can walk in for miles. And my boots I can as well. I can walk. I mean, my boots are pretty worn in and comfortable. But I think there's something to be said about the endurance riders and what they wear. And obviously they know more than me. So I'm like, let's do something to kind of help with that.
Yeah, it really intrigues me because I'm a huge boot nerd. But I also know like they're made for riding, not walking. And so, not that that's going to be your main call every day, but still there's something to be said for that. So I'll be curious. I'll be real curious.
Yeah. But I think, hold on, we're having technical difficulties. Amy's dying.
Yeah. Earthquake. Yeah.
So we've got some ideas. We're looking into some options. We're trying to keep our eyes open and our,
minds open
and trying a variety of things to see what's really going to work for us. I think the biggest thing is just making sure we're comfortable and having things that are honestly not going to change. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing.
I think rash is going to be our biggest enemy. And that's going to be interesting about these Zoom meetings going forward, is kind of just being able to chat with people about what they've done in the past or what has worked for them or why things work. Just to be able to sit down and pick people's brains.
Oh yeah, they've been there, done that, and that insight alone. How can you beat that? Like, what's the one thing you regret the most? What's the one thing you're glad you did? Like, you're going to be halfway through, like, oh, thank God I had that meeting because I would be so miserable right now. Like, good grief. There's plenty of stuff to distract you or to get focused on besides all these things you can learn before you go. So it's, you want to enjoy it and have the challenge, not be absolutely miserable and, just killing yourself and hating life. So yeah, I think that's well done on their part too, to help facilitate all that contact and camaraderie and communication and really just good insight.
And there's actually, they're pretty, like the previous people who have ran are pretty open about what to use and what to do. Like one of them said, first day, wear ankle braces and a back brace. Don't mess around, just put it on. Just get ankle braces and a back brace is the most important thing, just to have that extra support. And they were like, so, those things, I think that's the other, is that the previous riders are also very open about trying to help the next generation coming in, so they're more successful and being and enjoying it more.
Mhm.
I mean, as much as,
It's possible.
you know,
Yeah.
25 miles in 6 days.
I was just going to
is
say,
quite a bit.
it's still 100 miles a
100
day over rough terrain. You've never been navigating with GPS on a horse you don't know. I mean, I'm not the cheer yet, but like all these things, you still have to be able to get there and go do it. So, is what it boils down to. So, that's
Yes.
That wrap's going to be a major portion of our pack.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
there
athletic tape and
there's not a weight limit, is there?
Yes.
Okay.
There is 185 pounds.
Yeah. 185 or 190. It's 80,
Yeah.
85 kilograms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
85
Okay.
kilograms. Yeah. So I think it's like 100. And that includes, but your pack can't be more than
11 pounds.
Oh, I thought it was 30.
Pretty sure.
Is it 11? Okay.
So that excludes your water.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Your water can get added on to the total because basically a hydration pack in their backpack and weigh in before you fill with water, just because they obviously want you to. And here pretty soon they're going to send us, we call them banana bags, camel bags, I guess. And there's, I think there's some official shirts and those kinds of things
that we'll be getting.
Yep.
Have you been riding with Camel Packs on or any of those kind of things to kind of get used to that? Because that's got to be a little bit different, I would think.
A backpack one day. Yes, we do. It may not be
exactly hydration.
hydration. It's hydration.
Throwing a half rack in a backpack probably doesn't really count, but it's a good start. Yeah.
Hey, you know, it makes you, you know, like have that extra weight on your back and figuring out how to deal with it, flopping around when you're going through rough terrain.
Those empty cans rattle. They can spook.
Yeah,
they can spook.
Being able to stay in the middle with, you know, we're definitely working on that.
And the team, like, hey, grab another one out of my backpack, will you? You know, that sort of thing. Yeah.
It's in there.
I know, right?
I can see it. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Happens we go at least 20 miles a day.
Oh, at least.
Yes. And probably steeper ground.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I can't remember how long ago it was. We decided to do, so this is our training. This is how we're training. It's good time. But we're like, oh, let's go down and do this little trail ride thing. And, you know, we're thinking, oh, it might take us a couple hours, an hour maybe an hour. And then we'll go do some, you know, go work on some other things. I think it was like, how many hours?
Oh, it was a good 12 hours.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I would say and we finally, like, we ended up having to have someone come and get us because we were like way out in the middle of nowhere. And it was, so we're definitely doing some training sessions. It may not be conventional training sessions, but
unorthodox, yeah. Speaking of which, yeah. A little unorthodox, that's good. I like it.
Very much so. Well, the other day, seems like every time we take off on an adventure, we get a heck of a sidetrack, and we have that tendency.
I think that's beautiful, and something that should be embraced. Yes. Are you training with GPS as well, or are you using any of that, or your phone, or something, getting used to just navigating with that?
I have a fundamental understanding of GPS through, you know, experience between Sky King and hunting over the years. That's pretty basic. Did you get a GPS?
I don't have one. They provide us with GPSs, and then they do training on how to use them and all that kind of stuff. I think that's something that I definitely need to like work more with, is the GPS portion of it. So yeah.
You'll catch.
I mean, I think it'll be all right. They do a really good job. They have a training session before we actually get on the start line, And they do a really good job of making sure everybody understands all the requirements before you actually set out.
Well, and I think that's part of what these Zoom meetings over the next few months are too, is in basic. I mean, this first one was kind of a meet and greet, but then there are real topics about each day, in each each meeting.
How to better prepare. Yep.
Yeah, that's essential. I think, you know, you're still going to get there and go, holy crap. But, you know, the more you can prepare beforehand is going to be good. So it's,
sure.
So you get there.
Sure.
So
I mean,
go ahead.
Well, that's the biggest thing I was going to say is, how does anybody really prepare for this?
Right. You don't.
No.
You just hope you're in shape and you're in the right headspace, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely. Because I think it's great you get a few days there to get acclimated and sort of, you know, get those butterflies out prior to. You're still going to have them, no doubt, but just to kind of get there and be like, okay, here I'm surrounded by it. I'm with everybody else. And now I got a couple days to sort of get myself gathered up and get my mindset. I think that's tremendous. And speaking of that, like, do you know yet how long total journey time is going to be from like leaving where you all live and the route and on all that fun stuff? Like, you got to leave like a week early?
So it starts on the 10th, training starts on the 7th. I think we will fly out of Portland either on the 4th or the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take us a solid 24 hours to get there.
Yeah.
So race starts on the 10th, goes to the 20th. We're going to give ourselves a couple days on the backside so that we're not, dealing with aches and pains for another 24-hour flight back. We should be back by the 25th.
I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
So like the second, roughly I'm thinking like the 2nd through the 25th, 26th, something like that. We'll be gone for the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Just a day or two. Yeah.
Just a casual overnighter. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Quick. Yeah. Down and back. Yeah.
So down and back. Might not even pack a bag. I don't know if I'll need anything, but anyways, we'll see.
Yeah. Really, our clothes will smell fine. Yeah, that's the other thing. We can have a bag of clean clothes at the finish line.
Yeah.
They pack our travel bags there too. If
Yeah.
Or if somebody doesn't come to the finish line, they can bring them for us.
Yes. We're still looking for anybody in support that would like to be at the finish line with us.
I've already volunteered, like last year even, to come. Yeah.
You'll be in charge of our bags.
Mm-hmm. I told you.
Our clean.
I just pictured me like shuffling.
We'll make sure our bags are pink. And
because I think after that, we're definitely going to want clean underwear, some clean socks, deodorant might be nice.
We'll all be wishing for that. Yes. So, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Oh yeah, what a day. Yeah, it'll be some scrub it up dub and new clothes. You'll feel like brand new people. That'll be amazing.
Well, I heard that they have masseuses at the finish line for all the competitors.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely we'll be taking advantage of that. Yeah.
If you can, do it before you fly. Do it when you land. Get a massage. Like, I cannot especially that long trip. I cannot recommend it enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And we actually, we have a chiropractor that is, and an acupuncturist that we see regularly. See regularly. They're like helping sponsor us. They're from Thai Valley, and they are like, they're amazing. So they're like helping prep our bodies for this trip and being able to be in the best
physical and mental space for it. And Eastern medicine and their kind of holistic view on things.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty amazing.
Andrew and Shamsa are amazing. They keep us going.
Awesome.
So yeah. I love when you go into, I've been in to see Andrew, the chiropractor, after being bucked off. I got bucked off of my one of my young horses, and It was not pretty. It was bad. And he put me all back into place.
I need to come back a few times. I'm like, don't you go up the hill and see Shamsa while you're at it?
He was like, so let's put this rib back. And then why don't you, how are you standing? Yeah. So he's like, you need to go see Shamsa. And I went up to see Shamsa and she was like, oh, well, let's deal with this. Let's get some feeling back in your toes.
This is supposed to be over here. Yes. Like that.
Yeah. And I have an idea that's how it's going to. They're going to have a whole puzzle to put back, 2 puzzles to put back together if we get back.
Like 2 boxes of Legos that got dumped out on the floor. Like, let's just start at the beginning. Here we go. Yeah.
So we do there are some local people that are helping us, and they're helping us, get ready to go. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to get some patches for Andrew and Shamsa to be able to wear on our shirts. Awesome. Give them some type of what they're doing for us, because they're definitely helping.
Oh my gosh,
they're amazing.
And they are great for the mental piece of it too.
Oh yeah.
They're pretty neat people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be critical, as you're well aware of right now. Even that's the huge component.
But it's amazing what you can do with what I've learned that you can do with acupuncture as far as that piece of it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That will be before and after, no doubt. Yeah. And all this whole next year of training too, that's going to be intense. Are you going to do any intermediate or practice races between now and then?
We talked about that, and it's hard. We would almost have to rent horses in order to do it, because, I mean, our horses have a job that you can't cripple a horse on an endurance race just for the sake of endurance. But by the same token, I think what we do on the daily is probably as challenging. I mean, I know there's differences.
I think so. The one thing because we did look into the endurance racing, and we did want to go and do some, at least like a 25 or 50 miler. But like Amy said, we would have to lease horses, and we're so. I mean, this is going to be expensive, and to lease a horse is not.
Especially for that, yeah, exactly. That's not going to lope around the park for the day.
Who would want to lease out a horse? I mean, that caliber. I mean, truly, we're going to not. We're not going. We're going.
We're not going to be able to showcase that horse. No, what it deserves. Exactly. And people who are leasing out their horses are going to want somebody to be able to go
it's like a top end cutting horse or something, the same kind of thing. Like, you're just not going to go do it unless you're at that level. So, I guess the point being, like, there's not really any way to simulate this thing until you get there.
Exactly. So for us, I think what we are trying to do is trying to get as many miles in as we can, on as many different horses as we can. Like I have like 9 at my house right now, and they all need to be ridden. And some of them are young, some of them are old, and we're all, Amy and I are taking turns of riding all the different. I've actually asked people, and I've put this out to, because my daughter high school rodeos, and I'm talking to all the high school rodeo people. Like, if you have ponies, I'm looking for like small horses. Yeah. If you have some of those that you're willing to let us come and ride, let me know, because I think the thing is that we're used to our big old ranch horses that are a little bit slower.
Sometimes.
Well, yes, sometimes. But that, are sure-footed and, don't really walk up or try to be naughty. And you get on some of these smaller, like 14 hands and under that are a little bit quicker, lighter on their feet. That's what we need practice with. And so I actually have 2 of those right now. One of them I call my dragon, but he's broke, he's not gonna, he can be a dragon, but he's smaller. So, he's one that is definitely getting me used to riding something a little bit smaller. That's a little bit quicker, a little bit, finer boned, cattier. But we need, I think, in order to prepare the best that we can, we need to have a variety.
And just kind of go jump ride horse.
Yes, yeah. Just go and be like, Right? We'll take
Not
it.
the best. Maybe we will try not to break our leg between now and then, but by the same token,
Yeah.
just go jump on those.
Yeah.
And they're out there.
Oh yeah, we have people that are letting us, but we just need, we need more of those
Mhm.
experiences, because we definitely, I think that's what's going to prepare us the most, and obviously being in the best physical shape that we can get.
Yeah. And that's just a matter of diet and exercise
Yeah.
and chiropractic and
Yeah.
all the things.
Having strong leg muscles, strong core muscles, and of course the mental piece of it is what's going to be like the biggest, because we're going to hurt, we're going to be tired. It's just being able to push through that.
Well, and like we've always talked about before, we have these horses that we're used to, and sometimes it takes you 6 months to get used to a horse. We're not going to have that
Luxury.
luck. Get on and go.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's going to be the headspace piece of it that you have to.
I think that's the other piece. Getting on and going with a horse that's going. Like all of our horses, we try to make stand still when you get on them. Jump right on and go. Yeah, jump right. So that's the other piece that could be. But I think it'll be fine. It's just going to be different.
Yeah, but you'll be adjusting on the fly, no doubt about it. That will be part of the deal. Is
I think we're
on
kind
the move.
Yeah. So we've got plans. We're just, again, anybody have horses that we can come and ride?
Yeah, we'll put the word out for sure. That'll be, exactly. With exceptions, yes.
Oh, yes. We're always game to travel.
Oh, that's all outstanding. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely get all this information in the description down below. We'll have your emails, ways to get a hold of you guys. We'll have the GoFundMe link if anybody's got wild rags, riding gear, etc., something they think might be of service, or just maybe you want to make a connection. We'll certainly try to facilitate that. Again, I think we'll probably have an update another 3 months or so, or 6 months, just to see how things are coming along, and if you've had any new epiphanies, or if you got some great sponsors lined up by then, some more too. We definitely want to tout them before you get a chance to go there, and make people aware of everybody that's helping support this great cause and what y'all are doing, and try to help keep that moving as well. But I think
really
Far Reaches has been super supportive. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's so good to see what y'all are doing, and just so we're really just honored and kind of humbled to be kind of part of it, and dragging on the coattails. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
It'll be fun. Yep. It's going to be an adventure. Even the next 11 months is going to be an adventure.
It's going to be here so fast. I guarantee you, as you well know, like it's going to just scream, not to make you pee yourself a little bit, but it's going to be here fast. So, maybe just a little.
Yeah, it happens.
Sometimes, yeah. Anything else to add before we kind of wrap this episode up? Did you guys got anybody you want to thank? Any kind of more comments? I'll leave the floor to you.
I just say, for me, it's thanking Far Reaches for getting the word out, getting this out to the public, and then also our Shamsa and Andrew for taking such good care of us, getting us ready for this big old long adventure, and then of course our friends and family who have been so super supportive.
Our little livestock association has a fund that people can contribute to if you're not comfortable with the GoFundMe.
Great. Outstanding.
They've been amazing. Apex Towing, yes, Apex Towing
contributed
in Morrow. Yep. So we've had quite a few. We've got some support in there. We appreciate it all, and they're amazing.
Yep. We do. We have the best community here, and we have the best friends. And
that's awesome.
It's been kind of fun.
Yeah.
And it's always a topic.
Oh, it's always a topic. Once people find out, it's like, it hasn't really, like, in our local area, like, there's more and more people that are hearing about it. We haven't really, like, it's not something that we talk about a lot, but when it comes up, people are just like, wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah, that's the. Where's that at? Is that down by Lake County? No. That's clear across several places. Looks like it, but it's way to hell and gone. Yeah, might be closer this way actually. Yeah. So.
Same latitude, close to same latitude.
And I think the other piece too that I'm missing for thanking is my work. I mean, my boss is phenomenal. The sheriff, because I work under the sheriff, and then I have a director that's actually, the director of my program of our agency, and they are so stinking supportive because I'm going to be gone for a month,
yeah.
Pretty much. And they are just like, being so accommodating and so supportive, and not many employers I couldn't imagine would be as great as they're being and supportive.
And I would say the bank too. Yeah, absolutely. There's never been a question.
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
So cool.
Yep.
That really helps. All that with the community and everything else, I think, and two good friends going, but all that adds up to just great.
Yeah.
Well, and we're really fortunate to live where we live.
Oh man. Yeah, for sure.
No doubt. Outstanding. Well, I think we'll wrap this awesome episode up as well. Again, we'll have all the information down below if anybody wants to get a hold of you, if they have questions, if they want to donate something, if they want to anything, just reach out and say, hey, so proud, kick ass, can't wait to see you come back. We'll have all that. If you got some sponsors you're already using, we'll get those folks listed below too, so they can get their shout outs early and often. But for now, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we are going to be posting a lot. I'm going to try to start posting more and more on our Instagram page. So we have an Instagram page, Ranch Girls in Mongolia. So take a look at that. You can see what adventure we've been on, good, bad, or indifferent.
And either one of our personal Facebook pages.
Yep.
Awesome. Beautiful. Great to see about the Instagram. We'll try to get that linked as well, just to get everybody all same page so they can follow along. And that's a great way to interact as well. If you're on there, you can certainly probably direct message on any of the Facebooks or Instagram also. So I think that will be another great way.
You can watch the race or the chatter about the race, and Eric Cooper's Instagram page, plus the Equestrianist. Look up the Equestrianist and go to Mongol Derby.
And you'll be able to track us the entire time of the race.
And we are the August race, not the July race. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to get a link to the page to the equestrianist.com adventures/Mongol Derby, just so people can check it out too, because there's cool stuff on there. There's awesome videos people can watch too on different parts, YouTube, etc., about this race and other people that have ran it. So if you've never heard of it until now, by all means, please check it out. If you think you're impressed now just listening to these ladies talk about it, wait till you see some of the country and the people and the horses. So I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I think we'll wrap this one up. I can't thank you all enough for coming on again. Really appreciate all your time. It's great to see you. And we'll certainly have you back on in a few months when there's some more updates, or where you get somewhere we need to give everybody a kind of review, or maybe just strike her out again. So again, can't thank you enough, and looking forward to the next update.
Perfect. Thank you, Monica.
Awesome. Good to see y'all.